Is there a link, Stephanie, between supporting the voice and supporting the Hamas attack on Israel? I know that's very inflammatory to ask that, and a lot of people would say no, they support the voice, they don't support the attack on Israel. But listen, Australia's top Muslim bodies have backed the voice and attacked Israel after the terrorist attack. So did the Greens Deputy Leader, Mehreen Faruqi. And I even saw Aboriginal flags at last night's pro-Palestine rally. Many voice supporters may well support Israel, but is there a link here that the voice may be tribal politics and supporting Hamas even after the slaughter is tribal too? I don't say Mehreen Faruqi necessarily supported Hamas, but she did attack Hamas's victim.
Look, I think there is a link between the political elements of Islam and the hard left, where Islam turns a blind eye to Labor's radical social agenda in support of a weakened position on Israel and some elements, radical elements within their community. It's disappointing to see senators like Senator Faruqi coming out and condemning colonisation when she has directly benefited from it. And if we have a look at what colonisation has done for our country here and in Israel, it's provided first-class healthcare, education, equal rights, all the things that you don't see under a regime such as Hamas. And so I think that if you don't recognise that and you can't see the benefits of the country that we live in, then perhaps some of these people that are standing with Hamas and their totalitarian regime should spend some time living under it.
Well, what do you reckon? I mean, by the way, you're in New York. I mean, you've had the rallies there against, against Israel. After seeing this horror, rallies in New York denouncing Israel, not Hamas. I mean, the tribal politics seems to be in play, and it's like the Black Lives activists, activists, the left, and all that. The tribal element seems very, very clear here.
Yes, it does. To be honest, Andrew, I was less concerned about the rallies in New York than I was about seeing footage of rallies in front of the Opera House, in front of Sydney Harbour. I'm not even think I'm allowed to say on TV what I heard being chanted, which reverberated across Sydney Harbour. Many of your viewers will have seen that. I was shaken so fundamentally to sit in New York and hear those comments. I struggle actually to comprehend it. I think what I would say is that this idea of tribal identity politics needs to be resisted in a country like Australia, and the uniting principle that we need to endorse is the nation state, is Australia. Now, the thing which I think ties these things together is ultimately the voice is about putting us into different categories: white Australians, immigrant Australians, Indigenous Australians. And whilst I can understand the emotional pull of that, we are seeing the consequences of identity politics writ large as a result of that mistake. What we need to think about is we are all Australians and we support our Australian identity above and beyond any other tribal identity. And if we don't do that, there are very, very worrying consequences.
Absolutely true. Will Kingston, Stephanie Bastiaan, thank you to you both.